Yo guys, it's Slyroh. You already know that today we're back with another Take 5 with RTK. What's
Yo,
up?
how's it going? What's up?
Hey, hey. Yeah, today we're going to be talking about more anime stuff. We're going to be doing our top 5 disappointing anime. So this should be fun and spicy.
All
How
right,
are you
so
feeling about this?
I gotta be a little specific on I had anime and I had a moment in an anime movie that disappointed me so highly that it has to be on my list.
Yeah, for me, when I think of like disappointing, for me, I had to go in with some sort of expectation, and those had to have like not been met. So there's anime that like started like good and then got worse, or there's anime that like had a good first two episodes and then got worse. I'm not really counting that for a lot of these. I feel like I went into them with an expectation, and my expectation was not met for various reasons. So I think this will be an interesting list from my end, and I don't really know what to expect from you. So
All right, well,
could be something. But it
well,
sounds like you have like whole pages worth of notes ready to say. So I actually think you might end up talking more than me here. But we'll see.
five and four are about like half a page each, so.
All right. Well,
You want to
how
go
do
first? Or you want
we?
me to go first? How you want to do this? You want me to do
Uh,
my honorable mention really quick?
yeah, you do have an honorable. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, my honorable mention. Oh no, it's slipping my brain. Why? Why is it slipping my brain?
It must not be very honorable.
I should have wrote it down. It popped into my head literally like half an hour ago, and I
Yeah,
wanted to
or
mention it.
maybe we should wait for our honorable mentions until
Till
right
the end?
before
Okay,
number one.
all right,
Yeah,
all right. We'll do
we'll go
that.
last
Maybe
time.
it'll pop back up.
Yeah. Or pop
Okay.
up on my list.
All right. Maybe.
I don't know, probably not.
All right. Well, do you want me to go first with number five?
Yeah.
All right. So this is the one from the movie, and I felt so like stupid upset about this that it like ruined the entire movie for me and made me not even bother watching the anime of it. But it is Dragon Ball Z Super Resurrection of F Vegeta versus Frieza.
Oh,
And
wait, I forgot if that was like the movie that people liked or not.
it's fine, but they screw Vegeta over so bad. It like Vegeta finally gets his moment to come back and fight Frieza in his golden friggin' form, and then they screw him over by him just decimating Frieza in his golden form in like 8 hits. He hits him like 8 times and knocks him out of his golden form. And you know what Frieza does? He
What's that?
blows up the planet.
Typical Frieza.
And then they reverse time so Goku can fight him. It's so fucking dumb. It's
Oh my gosh.
I've been waiting for Vegeta. He gets this whole speech like, "Did you really think that I would still serve you after you destroyed my planet and enslaved my people and killed everyone?" And then he literally beats the tar out of him. Granted, Frieza was losing his power throughout the entire movie, so he was probably a little bit weakened, but it was such BS that Vegeta didn't get his moment like that. Like, oh yeah, he got to beat him up, but it was just completely circumvented by, like, Goku has to be the one who beats Frieza. It's so dumb, and I hate it so much.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty awful. I've never been interested enough to go down the rabbit hole of Dragon Ball Super.
It's one of the biggest
So
reasons why I didn't even bother with Super. That and they did my boy Gohan so dirty.
yeah, well, Gohan was already he was kind of done dirty a little bit by the end of Boo, but I mean, he still had
Yeah, I
moments.
mean,
But he still had his moments here and there.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know. All right, let me
It's
hear.
what it is.
Let me hear yours.
All right, so mine is less about a moment. Mine is an anime, and again, you're going in with expectations of one thing. My number five. Also, actually, really, before I say that, I had four like very like definitely on the list, and I was kind of struggling to be like having strong enough feelings for a five, but this is one I came up with. My number five is Serial Experiments Lane.
Oh, really?
It is. It
I,
is.
I recommended
Because
this to you.
yeah, exactly. And I feel like this is the anime that taught me that just because it is like like someone recommends it or you hear about it like being so highly regarded that that doesn't mean that that anime is like made for everyone. So like I don't have a problem. Yeah, I mean I don't really have a problem with people liking anything, but like I understand why people like this anime, and I don't really have a problem with it. But like I just was bored. Like I don't know. Like I found it kind of boring. I found myself not connecting to anything about it. And when I feel like it's propped up as like, this incredible, amazing anime, and then I'm sitting there like not overly invested, I'm just like, I don't know. So that's where the expectations come into it, where I did not feel like those expectations were met because, it's not like a typical like you don't really learn about too many of the characters. There's a bunch of weird stuff happening, and even though there is like reasons that things are happening, it's like I don't know. I like characters. I like a nice plot with like twists, and I feel like this is just like I don't know, man. I felt like I sat through like a bunch of just weird stuff happening all the time. Like,
you're just high the entire time.
It's like that's not the type of anime that I can vibe with, and it's not for me. And this is the anime that taught me that.
Okay.
You know what? My entire list is actually almost outside of like my top two. This is about learning lessons about. These are anime that taught me about things that I like and don't like. And,
that's understandable.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Serial Experiments Lane. I mean, I still don't really know 100% what's going on, but I do love an anime that you can like look up things afterwards and try to hear what other people's interpretations of what happened was. And then, you can try and Google if there was like an official explanation. But, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing.
Yeah. And now like there'll be anime in this sort of style where like I'll see and I'm just like, oh, there's people that are going to love this and think it's the best thing ever, and it's like I now know to look out for anime where I'm just like, I see where this is going and it's not for me. That's what happened. I remember I was talking about like last year with Sunny Boy when that came out. I was like, that is 100% the same thing. But I was able to clock that like within the first couple episodes. I was like, I see what this is doing. I see the type of audience this is going for. I'm not in that audience. So I have anime like Serial Experiments Lane to thank me for learning how to judge when a show like that comes along and it's just not for me.
Good for you, Sly. Good for you.
Yep. I'm learning.
Just watch everything like I do.
I'm working on it.
All right, you go with your number 4.
My number 4? Okay, dude, I'm so glad that there aren't like a lot of people watching this, because like I'm looking at my list and I'm just like, if that didn't like make a lot of people mad, this would. So in a very similar vein as the last entry, my number 4 for disappointing anime is Gurren Lagann.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, and this is another one that I actually saw a lot earlier in my anime watching career, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are still a lot of people that will say this is like their absolute favorite anime of all time, and it does this, and this so well and so good. And the first time I tried to watch it, I think I got 3 episodes in.
I know you
I don't remember.
Hated one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, we'll get there. But the first time I tried to watch it, I made a couple episodes in, and I was kind of bored. I was like, I'm not vibing. It's whatever. A couple years go by, I get a little bit more into watching anime. I was like, I'm going to give it another chance. I make myself watch the entire thing, and I'm just like, there are parts of it I like, but there was a lot of it that I'm just like, I don't really like. However, my opinion on Gurren Lagann has sort of softened over the year, because at least I can pinpoint why people like this anime and why I don't. The main reason being that, I didn't really vibe with Kamina. And I did watch it in dub. I don't know if that's going to justify maybe like it's done a lot better, but like his sort of over the top personality is generally not something that I vibe with. And then there was just a lot of like logic in the show. Like there was one time, I always stick in my mind, when they're like fighting or something like that, and he's like, Simo, let's combine mechs, and he's like, let me just stab you with my mech so we can combine. I'm just like, what logic are you using to do this,
dude?
And then they do it, and then it works, and I'm like, so this anime has no logic. There was no logic for me to follow. The character that is treated as everybody's favorite character, like within the show, everybody like looks up to Kamina and is just like, oh, he's like the best person, he's like the leader, and like I just didn't care for him at all. So like because there was that disconnect, I was like I found myself having problems like really believing what the story was like telling me. So it was kind of all that kind of mixed together. But I understand why people really like this anime, and I just understand where that disconnect is coming from. And it's taken a while to really learn that, but still not my favorite.
I don't get it, but okay. It's not like a 10 out of 10. It's more like a 6.5 for me. Gurren Lagann. It's an average anime. I more so don't care for the later half of the anime. I enjoyed the earlier half.
I liked a lot of the later half until like the last like 2 episodes.
Or you want to get
that
into
got
spoiler
crazy.
stuff, or
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how much we can spoil that, but like
it's so old. I'm sure people.
Yeah, but it got like really crazy. Mostly, yeah. All right. Well, I mean, we'll just say basically like, time skip stuff.
Yeah.
And like, again, like there was actually a lot of it that I liked, and then it got like too crazy. And I was just like, oh, okay, do they even know what they're doing at this point? But at that point, I feel like a lot of logic had been thrown out the window with that anime. So I'm just like,
that is kind of the same point in my number 3 that really makes my number 3 awful. And I had enjoyed that anime, and I think I've mentioned to you that I've hated it for a while. I think I've said this.
We'll see when we get to it.
Yeah, but let's just call out Chaos here. Chaos feels the same way about Gurren Lagann. He hates it, but he hates it for the opposite reason. Because when Kamina is no longer alive, he stopped watching the anime because that was his favorite character. So really weird to see the stark differences between you two.
Yeah, that is. I don't know that I've come across anybody else that is like felt as strongly against Kamina as me. I feel like that might be my hottest anime take, maybe of all time. I don't know. We'll see.
That's kind of odd because didn't you watch like early Naruto too? And Naruto's like super obnoxious, kind of like how Kamina is, and does dumb.
I wonder if the difference is because Naruto in universe doesn't like garner like all the respect until a lot later. I wonder if that's part of it. Is just like the way that the people in universe treat him is like, because like nobody believes in Naruto, so it like gives him something inherently to root for. Whereas just like
underdog instead of like I get it.
Yeah, and also I think Kamina has a lot more of like commanding, like a commander, and like telling other people like what to do. Not in like a bad way, but just like that's kind of his role, right? Is like either telling Simone, let's escape, let's do that, whatever, or telling like other people, let's attack this, whatever. And so it's just a different role where it's coming from. I mean, I don't think Naruto's like the greatest character ever, but like there's also a million other side characters that are worth investing your time in. So
that's true.
Completely
understandable, sir.
Yeah, it's a little different.
All right, so you want to hear my number 4 now, yeah?
Yeah. Let's get to your number 4.
All right, so this is I love the manga to this anime. It's such a good manga. But because it was so badly animated, I believe it's 7 Deadly Sins season 4.
I think it was season 3.
Was it season 3?
Yeah. I thought that was an honorable mention.
Oh, it's so. I remembered my honorable mention, by the way. They just ruined my favorite fight in the entirety of that series, and I heard it wasn't their fault exactly. Apparently, their movie had done poorly in the offices, so their sponsor or producer or whatever, A1 Pictures, like pulled out a lot of funding or something. So, that's just like the hearsay. I don't.
Yeah, I never looked into it that much. Obviously, like the animation was like not great, but
it was
like just for the whole season as a whole. Not just counting the fight. I mean the whole season as a whole.
Everything. But, like there's so many stupid moments up. Like there's Meliodas laying on a table and he doesn't have any definition whatsoever. Oh, it's so. I cannot stress to you, like anime. There's a way to animate stuff cheaply and still make it look okay. But it looked awful. It looked so bad, and I was so excited for that season. Ah, I hate
Yeah.
I hate
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, I'll say the only reason it's not on my list is because I didn't have the same amount of expectation because I wasn't reading the manga at that point. I didn't really know what to expect.
Mm.
And I still feel like a lot of the main story beats are there. And I mean, I watched probably up until about that fight, and then I just stopped because then I was like, all right, I'll just read the manga now. If everybody's like, this is so bad. But also, like, I will say another thing in sort of setting expectations is episode 1 doesn't really give me like high hopes for like the rest of the season just because like it was filler, but like that's when they started doing like the white blood and things like that. So it's like which I don't know if that even exists on Netflix. They might have changed it back, but I have no
Oh
idea.
yeah, the censorship. No,
Yeah.
they still had that on Netflix.
Okay. Yeah, because I was just like episode 1 didn't give me like high hopes for like the animation, but I remember because I think that's the like the Gother's backstory. I think is like early in that season, I believe. And if
Uh,
so, I still feel like that was done well. And if it wasn't, then maybe I looked it up at another time. But that I thought was still done really well.
that's like the same
Um,
when they censor stupid ecchi anime. They just do that
mhm.
white or black bar across the screen every single time.
Yeah, but dude, the white blood is like I found it hilarious, but also I'm just like if they do this during a serious moment, it's going to take away all seriousness from that moment. So, oof.
I get it. It wasn't necessarily their fault, but
Yeah, these
still.
things happen.
All right, are you ready for the whole page turner?
Yeah, let's see what's about to happen here.
My number 3 is Darling in the Franxx.
Oh, okay.
And I want to say this now. When this anime was airing, for the first 15 episodes, I loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved the world. I loved the world building. I even liked the characters. They were interesting, barring like the main guy. He was kind of dull, but a lot of these protagonists are. Zero Two was this fun push everyone's buttons, get them into shenanigans. There was a whole episode where she steals everyone's clothes and they have to run around naked chasing her. It was hilarious. So even in moments like that, and then they have serious moments where they're fighting I think they're called Klaxosaurs, or they're basically like giant dinosaur monster type of things in their mechs. I can't remember what the hell they were called, but they have these odd like positions where the girl's like basically bent over right in front of the guy. And you know what, I'm a sucker for ecchi stuff mixed in with serious fun fights. And like the mechs were okay, they were a little dumb looking at times, but I liked the whole dynamic between like Zero Two, Ichigo. I think the main character's name was Hiro, or like, and then the other blonde dude's name was like Mitsuri or something like that. And for the first 15 episodes, it's great. I enjoy it. The problem is after that. So they do a little mini story arc where it's like 3 episodes. Because after episode 15, the whole like love triangle thing between Ichigo, the main character, and Zero Two is resolved at that point. Like it's decided the main character denies the childhood friend, is with Zero Two, the main girl, best girl, and at that point, Zero Two loses all her like personality. It's stupid. She doesn't do any of the pokey fun stuff. She doesn't. She's just kind of nice to everyone, and I don't like that. She's basically it basically sends the message that like, oh, when you get into a relationship, all your fun goes out of you or something. And
Yeah.
I hated that. But after that, there's nothing really for the other characters to be focused on. So they focus on 2 side characters who end up getting married. And these are kids, you know, they're getting married, they're like teenagers or whatever. So they get a wedding all set up for them. And this is like a 3 episode story arc, and it's like cute. They're building up these side characters who didn't really have much, and then there's like 3 other characters who just never do anything ever. Then they're stupid. Um, And then when they get to like episode 19 is when they really, really drop the ball. So they spend like, I want to say like 3 episodes, maybe, over a time skip montage basically of them rebuilding the entirety of humanity because all of a sudden they figure out the bad guys are these aliens from outer space and blah blah fuckity blah. And they just montage it like, oh, everything's all set up, and you know they have these other groups and these child soldiers are being sent up into space, and all the other cast from Squad 13 except for the main character stay on Earth, while the main character gets sent up into space to be forced to be another partner with Squad 9, who are basic these they're at one point antagonists, and they're set up to be like the bad guys to see at the end, where you get to see some cool like mech on mecha action, but they don't. So you think like there's gonna be these high stakes where people are gonna die and everything, and they're setting up everything over these 2 years or whatever to go into this space battle to fight these space aliens, which is already stupid enough because they were already doing small scale battles with these Klaxosaurs that were interesting and fun, and like really felt the tension that you could die at any moment. But they go up into space, and this is where it really pisses me off. So instead of making like main characters die and give them like actually some emotional involvement or whatever, they have 4 characters who were previously antagonists. One of them is a giant snake monster. It sacrifices itself, and they're like, "Oh no, a big snake monster died. So sad." It's dumb. It's dumb. It's so dumb. And then one of them is a mad scientist who's part of the group. I think it was called Papa or whatever is what they describe the military organization that basically trains these children to fight wars or whatever. And he gets this, you see basically a montage of his life and why he's like this and why he has this robotic arm now. And then he does something good, and then he gets crushed by a boulder, which is so like oddly comedic that it just doesn't even really have an impact on you at all. Sadly, it's just kind of funny. He just gets smushed by a boulder, and I was laughing at this while it happened. It was stupid, and I don't even want to talk about the other two, but basically the antagonistic jerk from Squad 9 gets paired up with the main character because you can only drive these mechs with 2 people, right? And this second person is an asshole the entire time, and it's clearly set up to be a bad guy and fight throughout the entire time. But then he goes and like sacrifices himself and does one good thing, and you're supposed to like feel bad about it, but the entire time he's just a dick, and so you don't feel about it. You don't care. It doesn't matter. So all of a sudden, because he does that, do you know what happens? Zero Two has, I didn't mention this before, but 02 at their end of the last battle was ended up turning to stone, and I don't remember the exact reason why, but she somehow materializes herself into space, light years away, to be with the main character. And then, hold up, Slyroh, there's this giant mech that they made that is literally the size of mountains. And you know what her teleporting there does to this mech? It literally transforms this mech into a giant human with robotic parts connected to her, but giant ass fucking titties, size of moons, for no goddamn reason. And then the main character in 02 sacrifice themselves and just die. They just die to stop these aliens.
Oh my gosh, this sounds amazing.
I'm not done. I'm not done.
What do you mean you're not done?
So get this. It shows the future where where it shows their friends on Earth and they live a happy life and they have kids and all this stuff, and then the two spirits of Zero Two and the main character are reincarnated in the future where there's no wars, no nothing, to where they can be together, and it ends off with them as two kids holding hands.
All right then.
It's stupid. Like if they were to sacrifice themselves and it was a bittersweet ending, but no, they do it in the stupidest, dumbest way possible. I cannot stress you enough that I enjoyed this anime until the ending. It was so fucking dumb that it just, and not even that, they don't even resolve a lot of the plots in satisfying ways with, like, Papa the organization and all these other things. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm getting too mad.
Oh my gosh, that's only number 3. Oh my gosh. That is, wow, that was a ride.
Oh my god. I don't think I breathed during the entire time while I was talking about that. Oh, I hated it so much.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you can relax for a little bit. Oh my gosh. Wow. I mean, I've always heard that it, like, ended bad, but I've never, like, looked into why or how, because I never watched it, but...
Don't even bother unless you want to experience that hot garbage mess.
Nah, there's probably plenty of other things I can watch that I might get that from anyway.
Okay, let me hear your number 3.
Alright, well, my number 3, it's kind of more of a representation of a whole type of anime.
Really?
But,
wow, okay.
Yeah, and you'll agree with me on this, whether, maybe not the specific anime, but just in general. So, for me, my number 3 is Dead Man Wonderland.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and the reason why, Dead Man Wonderland, for some reason or another, was probably one of the first 5, definitely first 10 anime that I've seen. But, like, from my memory, I remember, like, I think I watched, like, Death Note, Code Geass.
As is everyone's start, yes.
I was like, and then I'm pretty sure I saw Sword Art Online, and then I'm pretty sure, like, right after that, I like Dead Man Wonderland. I think it was, like, on Netflix or something. I was like, the description sounded cool, and I was like, sure, let's watch it. I actually really enjoyed the anime. The reason that it's on this list and why it's disappointing is because I didn't really know what anime was or how it's generally, like, an adaptation of a manga. So I didn't realize that the anime, like, wasn't going to end or have a really unsatisfying conclusion. Because, you know, I don't even remember the specifics because it's been so long, but I just remember that it kind of, like, rushes to the end and then you get bombarded with a whole bunch of questions that have no answer. I remember immediately Googling, being like, what in the world does this ending mean? Only to be confronted with an answer of, oh, you have to, like, read the manga to, like, know what the ending is. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah,
That's pretty like the stupidest thing ever.
I'm pretty sure it ended with, like, I think her name was Shiro telling the main character that she was the one who killed the class, and they're on, like, a Ferris wheel, and then it just stops. It just ends.
I was like, you can't do that. I was like, I need to know more. I need to understand why, because I actually did enjoy the anime.
No, it was good. I understand. I went and read.
Yes, and then for someone who, like, I didn't even know what manga was. I didn't know that was a thing, let alone that, like, oh, anime can just, like, wrap up with questions and just never have an answer. So this is a representation for the, like, read the manga ending type things, and this is on this list because I went into it not knowing that was a thing that could even happen. So number 3 is a little high, but I also wanted to be a little bit nicer to to Gurren Lagann and Serial Experiments Lane. So that's why it's here. But that's sort of story time, where that was, I think Dead Man Wonderland might have actually been maybe the first anime that I, like, went into without any sort of previous, like, notions of, like, you know, like, Death Note and Code Geass were both recommended to me, like, by a friend. Sword Art Online I probably had just heard about, and I was like, it's popular, I'll watch it. Dead Man Wonderland is, like, probably the first one that I was like, ooh, the description and the, like, picture for, like, the anime sound cool. That's good enough for me. And it's unfortunate how it turned out, but I mean, it's not a bad anime.
No, it's fun. It's enjoyable.
I probably enjoy it better more than the than the other two I mentioned so far. So.
I get
But
it. It's always horrible when an anime just ends on a cliffhanger and then just nothing ever happens for like ever, and you're just like, oh, is it gonna get another season? What's gonna go on? And then it just didn't do well enough in ratings to where it just.
Yeah. Thankfully now it's like if I'm going to watch an anime that's like from the past, like at least I can go in with the knowledge of like does it end, does it not, what are the general feelings. And then I mean seasonal anime is just kind of a gamble. It's like if you watch something you have to go in knowing that like this could be the only season of it you ever see. Which is just kind of the territory. So I don't really expect that to really happen to me again, but you never know. But that's my 3.
I get it, dude. I feel like we're gonna have the like same number 1 and number 2.
Really?
I feel like we might. I feel
really?
like we
Okay.
might. Anyways, your 2 is the first one, I believe. So
It is. It is. Okay. Well, my number 2 is The Promise Neverland.
I see.
Yes. Specifically season 2. I don't know. I don't know if you're going to talk about that or not. So
we'll see.
I'll give my piece on it. Because I'll just say this: I don't really know how to explain this season without spoilers. So spoilers for The Promised Neverland.
I'm gonna explain it. I just want you to know in the future. I'm gonna explain it.
Yeah. So you've heard it plenty of times before, probably. I watched first season Promised Neverland when it was airing. It was my anime of the year for the year it came out. I think like 2019. I think it was the year. That was my favorite anime the entire year. I liked it so much that I was like, I'm gonna read the manga. And then off and on, I read the manga until it was fully complete. Season 2 finally gets announced after, like 2 long years? Or it comes out like 2 years after, whatever. 2 or 3 years. And it starts off, and so for me, people kind of saw some red flags with it early on, right? But
yes.
for me, all right, people don't like, or weren't liking this because, I'll say now, they don't like it because of, the Goldie Pond arc never got like done or whatever. Going into the season, I didn't think that the anime was even going to reach that part. So my expectations were like, oh, this will be a good season, but season 3 when they do Goldie Pond, that's going to be the best thing. So that's kind of like where that's what I thought.
Little did you know.
Yes. So yeah. But so that's where I was. And the first couple episodes of season 2, they're fine. Like they're set up. They go through the forest. They meet Sanji Mujika. Like everything is lining up. And then I think it's episode 5, I don't know, when they go into the shelter and then they look through the entire thing, and I was like, wait a minute. And like, so it had been a little while since I had read the manga when this was coming out, and I was like, something's off. I was like, I feel like something should have happened by now. And they end, and then like, even on like the cliffhanger, like there was no like sort of cliffhanger of like, I was like, somebody's missing. There is an entire missing character. And that is the first time that it really veered off. So they find the shelter. Man that's supposed to be a shelter is not at shelter. And then I think it was the next episode, or maybe even the end of that one, people come in and are destroying the shelter. I'm just like, wait a minute, this is not how I remember this happening at all. And so it went from, all right, I basically, I went through like so many stages of grief with this season of anime, because it went from like, oh, this is fine, whatever. And around this point, I was like, okay, well, maybe they have like a different idea that they want to tell, and it could still be good. So at this point, I'm like, I'm not defending it as great, but I'm like, I think this could still be good and salvageable. Cut to, I don't really remember what happens between that and then like the Norman stuff happening. Probably not that much.
They meet the elderly guy and the young.
Yes, and that's an anime exclusive thing, but I actually thought that was fine. I thought those characters were fine, actually. I didn't really have a problem with them. And I actually didn't have that much of a problem with the timing of the Norman stuff was weird, but the Norman stuff in the anime was not that different from like the main plot points of the Norman stuff in the manga, honestly. But also, me personally, when it gets to this point and later on in the manga, that's when I have a lot of problems with the manga, so I'm like, already I'm just like, oh, we're getting into rocky territory here. So and then we get to, I think there's 12 episodes, right? So like 10 episodes in, we're fine. I've accepted this is disappointing. Whatever. It's fine. It's done with. The last 2 episodes, oh my god, and the ending.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So I don't like the ending of the Promise Neverland manga. I think it's not very good. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, if they're changing the ending, like, what are they going to do with this? They do their ending where, you know, what I think like Emma's like, and some people stay behind, and then like Phil and some people get to go, whatever, like in the anime, and then they start playing like the ending song or something like that, and then they PowerPoint presentation with a bunch of like manga panels showing creatures and characters that you've never seen in the anime, just being like, oh, Emma does all the stuff that she does in the manga, but like we're just not going to show it. We're not going to animate it at all. It's just going to be a PowerPoint presentation, and then that's it, and then the anime ends. And I'm just baffled that they did that. I cannot believe it. They actually animated. Well, okay, they told the story of from chapter 36 of the manga to chapter 180, whatever it ends on, all in the span of like 12 episodes because they skipped like 100. They literally jumped like 50 chapters like at one point. It is the most bizarre thing. And I was watching it by myself alone, and I was still looking at my computer screen, like jaw open, being like, I am not. I laughed. I started laughing because I'm just like, there's no way that I'm watching a PowerPoint presentation of this character being from the manga that has never been even alluded to in season 2. Like, if you're gonna go a different direction, you need to at least have some sort of coherent plan, and they did not. Oh my gosh. Wow, and that's not even number 1, but
I feel yes, like all right. Well,
but yeah, I'd say because I had read the manga, I already knew that like the Promised Neverland wasn't going to end up being my favorite anime ever. Like, it wasn't ever going to be in that territory. But wow, they dropped the ball even after I lowered my expectations. Oof.
All right.
Anyway.
All right.
All right. Oh wait. So all right. Now I'm interested in what your 2 is, because I think I know what your 1 is now.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Is your 2 my 1? Let's
I feel like it is because
really you seem really confident.
But I think so. My number 2 is Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh.
They ruined everything about Tokyo Ghoul. They had a very good first season, and they were adapting the manga, and they were doing super well and keeping it up. And then they go with Route A completely whatever. They go, it's garbage. It's a completely anime original that doesn't really mean anything, and it's completely stupid in everything that it does. And then they go with Tokyo Ghoul Re, which then tries to adapt the remaining
Tokyo Re.
Whatever the fuck it's called.
Tokyo Ghoul Re is a sequel manga to Tokyo Ghoul. So Tokyo Ghoul Re, when they did the anime adaptation, they adapted the manga of Tokyo Ghoul Re. The problem is they skipped the entire like last, I don't know, 60 to 80 chapters of Tokyo Ghoul. They just never animated that.
Oh, trust me. They put like 120 chapters in like 12 episodes of the latter half of Re. And it was so stupid and rushed and bad, and I hated it so much. I thought, oh, okay, we're going to get some good stuff with Re. We're going to enjoy Re. And they did even worse than the anime original stuff.
Wow. I will say I definitely did not watch Re. I completely blocked Route A out of my mind. I forgot that even happened.
Oh, it's so... I hated it so much because, like, this was back... Tokyo Ghoul Re is one of those animes that really got everything booming in the anime industry. Like, they really made... Tokyo Ghoul, I feel like, is one of those animes that made it somewhat mainstream to watch anime. Like,
yeah, I definitely heard a lot about it when I was still very casual and not knowing that much about anime. Tokyo was definitely one that I remember hearing a lot about.
You went to Hot Topic, it was Tokyo Ghoul Re everywhere. And they did it so bad. And you know what? The final battle, they just don't even show. They just don't even show. You see him go up to it, and it just ends.
Oof.
It just ends.
Did the manga end? Because I think
Yeah, the
like,
manga
like
ended.
Okay.
And I read the manga, and I didn't really care for the manga as much. It didn't have a super satisfying ending, as to me. It was, but like the way they just fucked it up so bad, like it just was a jumbled mess of garbage, and I hated it. I hated it.
Yeah, that's incredibly fair. Yeah.
I don't. I'm still so mad
that.
about Darling and the Franxx. I don't even want to get mad about Tokyo Ghoul right now, because I didn't even talk about half the points that I've. So I'll go into number one.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. Yeah.
My number one is the Promise Neverland season 2.
Yeah.
And I am so mad about them skipping Goldie Pond. I loved Goldie Pond.
Yeah.
It showed how Emma was this, like, she refused to kill. And that really is shown in Goldie Pond. Like, she will not kill people. She doesn't want to kill people. And that's how they develop her character throughout these freaking stories and these arcs. And in the anime, they just make it seem like she's just doing that because she just feels like doing that. She doesn't have a super big reason for it. You don't see why she feels so strongly that way. And then when it gets to the conflict between Norman and Emma about the stupid genocide, it just doesn't even, like... First of all,
it doesn't resonate in the same way.
It doesn't resonate. You don't feel anything. Because, one, they skip over Emma's reasoning on why she doesn't want to kill anyone. And then they, like, kind of gloss over it in the anime with Norman. But then to have him stop just mid-genocide because the little girl demon's name is Emma. It's so
that is really
fucking
bad.
dumb. This is why people hated Batman vs. Superman, because of Martha. Oh, it's so dumb. It's like, if you're doing shit like that, like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
So when they do that, and then they go to return to, I think it's Gracefield or whatever.
Yeah.
When they go to return to Gracefield, they basically gloss over the same points. By the way, these kids are supposed to have guns in the manga. They just don't have guns. They have bows and arrows. It's...
I never even noticed that.
They were supposed to have guns. They don't have guns.
I know they were, but I didn't register that the anime didn't have them.
I feel like they didn't want to animate kids with guns in this. It was so... Like, okay, what... And then, you know, they do the whole thing where they cancel out the cameras and, what is it? I can't remember the black hair. Ray gets the cameras canceled out or whatever. And then, you know what's even dumber is that they shoot out the cameras with arrows anyway. So, like, what was the point of Ray even doing that?
Yeah.
Which is even dumber. So then they get to the point, you know, they show the guy who's in charge of all the demon... and they don't even give his story because you don't know who the fuck this guy is. And then they gloss over it with another PowerPoint. Another PowerPoint showing his past, and you're like, okay, what even is the point? And he kills his brother and blah 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 and takes over Gracefield Farms and all these demons and shit. And I'm sorry, I'm spoiling it. Don't even bother watching it. Don't even bother.
Yeah, I forget. Did he kill himself?
Yes,
or did he just
he killed himself. And
and the only reason is so that way like they didn't have to have like Emma or one of the good guys be showing like killing somebody. Like there was no reason for him to like kill himself in that moment. From what I remember.
Then Emma like reached out his hand in the anime, to be like, hey dude, you can still be good. You're alright. You've done a lot of horrible stuff, but you can still make up for it. And she holds out his hand, and then he just kills her. By the way, you know what is so dumb about this whole like, what is the mom's name? I can't remember. Isabella had this whole setup in the anime where they're gonna have this like return with Ray, Norman, and Emma going against Isabella, and you think it's gonna be this like high battle of wits and trickery or whatever, and they're gonna do it, and she just does the same thing that she was gonna do in the manga, just in a different way. She just betrays the main guy for no stupid reason whatsoever. Like, it's
Yeah.
not even alluded to at all that she was gonna do that. She just does it.
Yeah, they didn't take the time to explain anything.
I know, and then it gets even dumber, my dude. So they go down the elevator or whatever, and then they're just staring up at the clock, which is supposed to be explained on why it's so important in the manga and why that clock is that way. And they're just looking at it. They're just staring at it for a couple of minutes, and they go down there, and then they go to their like gate of truth, freaking down there to teleport them to the human side of the world. And you know what is so dumb? So, in the manga, it's literally just a set of stairs. There's no gate or anything.
Mm-hmm.
You just walk down the stairs, and it's like the Seven Realm stairs, or what, I don't remember what the arc is called, but
Right.
they go through that, and they go through some shenanigans, because it's really trippy. It's like that MC whatever artist thing.
Yeah.
And they go through that in the manga, and it's actually it's interesting, and they you know get to another point, and I won't spoil the ending of the manga because I think it's okay. I didn't like it as much.
Trash.
But the point is, in the anime, they have that gate, and you know what they use to open the fucking gate? The stupid owl pen that they had. Why even add a lock or gate for a problem that didn't even fucking matter? It didn't. Why add all that effort and make it stupid for no reason?
Yeah. Oh man.
And don't even get me started on they send them through the gates, and all of them stay. I think it's Ray, Emma, Norman, and like the people,
Probably.
the super kids or whatever that were experimented on.
The kids are allowed to have a name.
Oh, don't even get me started about how they cured their incurable illness because they revealed that Norman was dying, but all the answers were in that stupid fucking pen anyways.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I remember it so vividly, and so how I was so mad about it because I forced myself to watch that. I really did.
Oh, same.
My
I
eyes.
was like, I was like, after I was halfway through, I was like, I'm watching the rest of this. I'm not. It's like I need to know what they do.
At least they gave us a heartfelt moment between Phil and Emma. I love Phil so much.
I think they. I can't remember the manga. I feel like they might have done Phil better in the anime.
I think they did. Phil is such a good
that and
character.
those other two, the kid with like the black hair, and like that other kid, they were given like somewhat of characterization in the anime.
Yeah. They also completely just cut out a character that was in the manga. I think her name was Clara, and she was like Phil's friend or whatever. They just didn't even show her. She wasn't even there. By the way, if you want a good video about like why Phil is one of the greatest characters ever, go watch Mother's Basement video on that. I love that video so much.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
But then they get to the slideshow, and it.
Yep.
I was screaming internally, and then they show God for 8 seconds, and then that's it. And then they go back, and she goes to the human world, and then you get to see Phil a little bit older, which is kind of cool. You know, super smart Phil. I like that. But it was so bad. I want to die every time I think about it, dude. These top 3 just get me so fucking mad.
I'm just baffled at what direction that they thought they were going with the Promise Neverland. I just don't
even know.
I don't get it.
I don't even know why they even bothered. They could have had 5 seasons, maybe 6 seasons of one of the best anime of all time. Well, maybe not the best, but it would have been highly regarded.
It would have been up there.
It would have been like
I think
a 7.6.
If it was properly animated, I do think that there would be people that would say that this is their favorite.
No doubt.
It would be my favorite.
No
but
doubt.
I do think that it would be in the conversation for certain people to be like, this is my absolute favorite if it was animated properly. Because I do feel like there's probably people that exist that the Promise Neverland is maybe one of their favorite manga.
Dude,
I feel like I've heard that sentiment.
The way they did the first season was so good. It was so tense,
Yes.
so thrilling, so enjoyable, and it resolved. Well, it didn't resolve, but like it was satisfying.
Concluded a story. Yeah. Well, apparently, the original idea was for Ray to die at the end of the first season, and that just be like the end. Like, I don't know if that was going to be how it ended, but apparently the original idea ended like after they escaped from Graysville. There was no like plan after that until either it was I don't know, somebody was like, oh, you should make more or whatever, and then like the manga just like kept going.
Wow.
It was like one of those things where like the original intention was to stop right there, and then they didn't. And they had some good ideas, they had some bad ideas, but I do think that it explains a lot if that's true.
Speaking of, this is pre-pandemic, and they had 2 years to do this, and they fucked it so bad.
Yeah, there's it's crazy. I don't know how that happened. But all right, that's probably enough Promise Neverland talk.
Well, I don't want to talk about it anymore, dude. Let me hear your number one, because it's not
All
mine.
right. It is not. It is not.
Oh, let me talk about my honorable mention. It's
oh yeah, go for it.
It's actually Psycho-Pass season 2.
Oh,
I hated season 2 of Psycho-Pass, and I loved the first season.
So the second season was definitely worse. I also don't really remember that much of it, so
I won't bother talking about it since I just talked for like 20 minutes, but it's bad, and I hated it, so don't watch it. Watch the first season.
Was definitely better.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, my dude.
All right. So, set up my number one. What? there is one. If there's one thing that I'm known for, in our little friend group, it is my insatiable lust for finding a good battle royale anime.
Oh no! Okay? I know what it is.
Combine that. All right. So there's two different types of anime fans where this sentiment came from before watching this anime. You have people that have similar tastes. Like, I've seen anime YouTubers that love anime like me, that, you know, love Code Geass and like Hunter x Hunter, and just like, and these type of people say that this anime is like amazing. So there's that faction, and then there's also a faction of people that are like, the Fate series is really bad. Fate is awful, except for Fate Zero. That one's worth watching. And I'm here to tell you, no, it's not.
I knew it. Dude, I knew it.
The disappointing is such an understatement with Fate Zero. I went in to Fate Zero being like, this could be a new top 5 anime for me, because I love a good battle royale. I love, like, you know, and like the characters. There isn't like one sole like main focus. Like, you kind of see a lot of different characters, like perspectives and like what they're doing and what they're up to. That is the stuff that I live for, because the thing that I don't like about a lot of battle royale anime is how predictable it is, and how, like, you know, you follow the one main character, and then if it's like a premise like only one will survive, it's like, oh, I wonder who that's going to be, you know. And so many dropped the ball, and this one, it didn't drop the ball in that aspect, but I was so bored, first off. I didn't care for like any of the characters, second off. I couldn't, and like, I feel like halfway through, I still didn't understand like the rules. I was like, where are they fighting? How do they know about each other's positions or not? Like, who are they communicating with? And then like a character would show up, and I was like, wait, who are they again? Like,
why are they here? What are they doing?
Yes, and like, oh man, and even at the beginning, I feel like Fate Zero had like this weird, like, I couldn't tell what sort of fantasy setting or time period they're supposed to be in. I remember like, I think they were like riding like an old fashioned like train, but then like using a cell phone, and like,
I think
it was
it's
such
set
a conflict of like,
it's
like,
it's set like maybe I want to say like 10 years before Unlimited Blade Works, because Unlimited Blade Works talks about and references a lot of stuff in Zero, I think.
Okay.
And it's Zero is a prequel, so like they go into this thinking, I mean, I knew what was gonna happen because I watched Unlimited Blade Works.
Okay.
But I had the same feeling with Unlimited Blade Works. You just don't care enough about all the characters. You care maybe about one, and then they don't even get as much time to shine as you'd want them to.
Yeah, the ones that I found the most interesting either got neglected or got killed off kind of early. And then the person that like ended up basically like winning, which I barely even I don't even remember who it was, but I actually did kind of like them. Like towards the end, I was like, oh, this is the type of character that I would have rooted for if I like knew that this character was around for the whole time. But like, oh man, I don't know. And then yeah, it was so unsatisfying. It was so like disappointing when you go into an anime thinking that it could be a new favorite and then you don't even like it at the end. Like it breaks my heart, man. Like I want to like this anime. I want to understand why people like this anime. And unlike the other ones that I mentioned where it's like I get why people like other anime, I don't really get the hype for this.
Because
like, the
they
music's
have
good
cool
and the animation's
action.
good.
That's I feel like that's it. I feel like that's why they like it. Like they have that one scene between that one guy and Zero where they're fighting in I think it's in like a white room and they're using like bullets and the other guy's using what the hell is it? And it looks really cool. Yes, it looks cool.
Oh yeah.
But you don't care enough to support one side or the other.
Yes, I was like, I don't have a rooting interest. I don't have enough like information sometimes. And it's just like, oh man, yeah, no, animation fantastic, music fantastic. I get that. That is not enough to carry an anime. I need characters. I need a plot that is interesting and that I can like follow along with. And Fate Zero did not have that for me, and I will forever be disappointed that it didn't end up captivating me the way that I really wanted it to. It's so sad. It literally makes me cry.
Speaking of a battle royale anime, have you seen Zodiac Wars?
No, I feel like this is like the 10th time you've asked me, and I keep saying that I'm going to watch it, and I keep not watching it.
It surprised me. It was bad, but it surprised me with the ending because it came out of fucking nowhere.
So the one thing I do know about it is that I've heard that it is really good with not like you can watch it and not know who like wins.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna know who's gonna win.
Apparently if you watch like the ending song, that maybe it does. So I was like, all right, if I watch that, I won't watch the ending song thing, and I'll only watch the anime. And apparently it'll be unpredictable, and unpredictability is like what I live for. If something's predictable, it almost always is like less interesting to me than something that is like more unpredictable.
I think it's only 13 episodes, Slyroh.
It's really short. I know.
You could binge it, and you would be disappointed at the end, I think. But you might have a battle royale anime there.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I will forever, even though I found some good ones, but I will always try to find more battle royale anime that can satisfy that itch of having a good battle royale anime. So, this is one of my quests for life. Find good battle royale anime and watch like every sports anime.
and no one say Btoom because he didn't like Btoom.
I did not like Btoom.
Yeah, he didn't like it.
It had a lot of the same problems as a lot of other ones.
Platinum End was bad too.
I didn't even bother watching it.
I know.
No, literally the only good ones that I can think of. I like currently as I'm watching, Tamagotchi Game is up there. It's not the same thing, but it is similar in that realm.
Yeah, it's got a feel to it. You should watch I think there's a movie based on a manga called Battle Royale. And it's a live action movie. And that's not an anime, but it'll satisfy your need for a little bit, Sly.
Yeah. I probably should watch that at some point.
It's good. I liked it.
But yeah. The only other good one that I've come across is Magical Girl Raising Project. I love that anime so much. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. It's not predictable, and it's so good.
No more magical girls ever.
It's so good. Wow.
Ever.
Let girls be magical.
The only magical girl is the one where that guy transforms into a magical girl, and that's all I care about.
Wait, which one?
I can't remember its name, but he's like this big ripped dude, and he transforms into a magical girl, and he's got like pink wand and pink skirt and everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's pretty funny. All right, well, you want to wrap it up, my boy?
Yeah. All right. So, as usual, this ends up going for a really long time because we like talking about anime. So it is what it is. Hopefully, y'all have enjoyed listening to us, and our disappointment. Hopefully, we didn't, talk too badly about your favorite animes. But
if you disagree with anything we say, feel free to tell me why I'm so wrong.
yes, yeah, let us know things that you were disappointed by, any disappointing anime, anything that we've talked about you want to give your input on. By all means, leave it in the comments. This video should be going up on both of our channels, so whichever one you're watching it on, go to the other person's channel and like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. So I don't really have anything else to say. You have any closing thoughts?
I hate Darlene and the Franks.
Yeah, it's number 3. That's the closing thought.
I'm still mad about it. It's the catalyst, and I didn't even want to get mad about the others because,
oh yeah, and leave suggestions for other lists that you'd like to see us do. But with all that, we're gonna get out of here. So until the next time, peace out, everyone.